find out if Poland can continue their good form against a physical Colombian side who, well, you never know what might lie in store. Well, these are the two teams, and for Poland, they are starting with their big names, as they have done all tournament so far. Małgorzata Kolde and Karina Jastrushin, numbers 4 and 8, as well as the number 7, Anna Klichowska, the three names to watch out for amongst the starters. And for Colombia, the likes of Camilla Lopera, as well as Valentina Tapias, two talents to keep an eye on in the Colombian ranks. I'm delighted to be joined once again by 2014 Rugby World Cup winner Rachel Bertheden. Rach, is it going to be Poland continuing their good form and roaring into the semi-finals? Can you see any other outcome other than that?
I don't think you can look past the results. They're leading the way of 143 points so far. 8 of those tries belong to their flyer, Kolde. They're just so well organised, physically fit, and they've showed this all out there in all of their performances, and also their defence is so strong, only conceding 17 points this tournament. However, Colombia, from their last game, beating Mexico 28-7, they'll take all the positives from that to bring into this game, but they've also had experience in big games, the South American Champions Final, where they were runners-up, so they rely on some of their experience from that to bring into this game here.
I'll make no mistake, it would be an upset to see anything other than Poland go through here, and with a comfortable margin of victory as well, you would have thought. But let's give the South Americans and Colombia the next 14 minutes to prove us wrong. Well, the number 2 team in South America, Colombia, they finished behind Brazil in the South American Championships. Brazil having had total dominance of that competition over the last 18 years. Colombia, the only team to have ever beaten them in that competition back in 2015. But Poland's a rising star in women's sevens, the European champions from this summer, winning that competition for the first time in their history, and now looking at not just a World Cup place in Cape Town in September, but also eyes on a ticket to the HSBC World Rugby 7 Series. Jastrushin will start things for Poland, and she feeds Pamięta, and look who's lurking. Kolde is there, but Pamięta feeds the flyer, and Kolde runs in the first. And you can't quite script rugby, but when it comes to rugby sevens and Polish rugby sevens, there is always Małgorzata Kolde looking for something.
And the captain, Jastrushin, right at the heart of it. You know, as soon as they get the turnover, the transition, all the players on the exact same page. Pimienta's been so good at running at the line all day. And then finishing off, putting Kolde away. That centre and wing combination works so well for them time and time again. That's just the start that Poland would have wanted.
9th try of the competition for Kolde. And Klichowska takes another restart. She is just as important to this Polish team, if not more so, winning that restart, getting possession so it can reach the hands of the likes of Pamięta. And Kolde, and Jastrushin, who cuts inside. The captain, the heartbeat of this team. She sets the tempo, sets the standards in training in this Polish team based up in Gdansk in the north of Poland. Klichowska. Now she has deceptive pace, Anna Klichowska, and she's going to charge away. Klichowska gets her moments in the quarter-final. Poland's at a second in quick succession.
Klichowska, she's such a key player for Poland, always does the unseen work. She's the one who got up and got the ball back from the restart. And then she's the one to finish off that possession. As you say, she's got deceptive gas and gets on the outside and completely backs herself. Swagger just gets too tight to the breakdown. And then there's nothing she can do. She tries to track back, goes for the tap tackle. But Klioska has done all the damage.
Almost every minute of Rugby Sevens Poland have played have seen them in the ascendancy in this competition. They have dominated teams, and Colombia are starting to learn what that is all about. We've raved about the passing of China and Japan, but from Poland as well, it is brilliant. And opening up things comes Katarzyna Paszczuk, and that is a fine individual score. Colombia don't know where to look. Red jerseys everywhere, and they are in once more.
Lovely finish. I mean, we're seeing tries come from all different places from Poland, which makes them such a threat. But Paszczuk just goes on the outside, gives a little dummy. When you've got that many threats around, it's really hard defensively. Just the realignment, then she just puts the gas down. Gives a little show and go dummy to Pimienta, who's so dangerous, holds two defenders. And then the outside winger from Colombia is holding on Colday, and it just offers up that space. Everything going to plan at the moment for Poland.
Let's frame this properly, Rach, because against Papua New Guinea, it was 71-0 that Poland won. They have done this to a lot of teams.
2 knock-ons.
But I think as soon as Colombia settle, they have a game which will be able to trouble Poland's. It's a physical game. They just need the ball.
Absolutely. They've got some really strong direct runners. This is the first error that we've seen from Poland.
Bind. Set.
First error almost in the tournament. They have been that dominant. Here comes the try score again. Jastrushin. More speed put on things. Pamięta emerging as a real force in this Polish team. Now Colombia looking to stop them at source. It's the only way at the moment. Paszczuk. Klichowska on the wing. Is she going to show that speed again? It's the Fen this time. Anna Klichowska powering towards the line, and she'll get a second. And after all the hard work and the hard yards that she's made for this team, she's been given the wing berth in this match, and she's making the most of it.
Yeah, she's just such a powerful runner. She's got the speed to burn, but she's also got the strong fend and the power to get over. That's certainly somebody I'd want on the edge. Trusting with the ball in hand. Just so clinical from Poland. They work down one short side of the pitch, shift the ball. Hands are so clinical. Just backs herself, loves that ball transfer so that she can use her fend to get away from one defender. And then she just does enough. And Lopera can't do anything to stop her.
What was so impressive in their victory over Belgium is they were unrelenting. Their standards didn't drop. They just keep on coming. Pamięta. Doesn't make it to Colday. Colombia scrum.
Knock on.
And they can breathe and perhaps plan something from here.
Yeah, just good hustle in defence, just not giving up easy in the tackle, trying to force Pimienta to make that pass. Just gets her hand caught.
You need to bind to the hooker. You need to bind to the hooker. Crouch. Bind. Set. Put up.
Colombia go. Camila Lopera.
Away.
Surely not 10 metres from Poland. Half-time neck beckons, and Poland have done a familiar job on Colombia. All desire and organisation, and the skill set is just so high. So 24 points to 0, Poland lead Colombia halfway to the semi-finals. Saw this magnificent Polish outfit. And Rach, I think they've got even better than when we saw them earlier this year and when they scored that famous win against Canada in the Malaga Sevens. But this is a team which has even more about it. And okay, they haven't been tested, but we're seeing now the likes of Natalia Pamięta emerge and Katarzyna Paszczuk, and they're taking responsibility off the likes of Jastrzyk.
Absolutely, I think Malaga, key player, Klichowska, Malashevska, but now we're seeing more players emerge, and I just think it's the time together. Obviously, the European Championship, you know, that breeds so much confidence within this side, and you can see it in the way that they play. They understand their roles, they trust each other, they get a turnover, they're not all scrambling around the ball, everyone's realigning, they know exactly what their roles and responsibilities are. And at the moment, they're executing them perfectly.
I saw a shot just there of Poland's coach Janis Urbanovic, and I put on social media earlier today that I think this man is a rugby genius, and people in Polish rugby circles said, keep that quiet, we don't want anyone else to know. Excellent coaching setup that they have, and one of the keys to Poland's play is they are obsessed with controlling the ball and dominating possession. Can Poland's, or can Colombia take something back off them? Here they go. Good hands until that point.
Oh, that's such a shame. If you could screenshot that right now, all Poland's players within 5 or 6 meters of each other, so there must have been some space for Colombia. Such a shame, just a slight handling error. She knows that there's space outside. She's just slightly taking her eye off the ball, but you can't do that in sevens because that just gives the ball back to the opposition. And you know how dangerous Poland are with ball in hand.
Malashevska. Struzgauer is on. In the 10 jersey, watch out for her. Just a teenager still, but lightning speed, good step as well. Colombia's Maribel Metra tidying up. Poland being pulled a little out of shape in defence. And Rach, what's it like when you're under so much pressure? You get the chance to run, and because of the pressure you had, maybe you don't make the right decision. Should Colombia have been trying to kick the ball away?
It's difficult, isn't it? I think when you've got a really strong defensive team coming onto you and you don't feel like you're getting any go forward, then maybe putting the boot to ball and chasing down and getting in the right area of the pitch is a good option. But then you're gifting one of the most threatening attacking teams in this tournament. You don't want to give them the ball back easily.
They don't want to give it back to you, that's for sure. Good hands to keep possession. Lovely pop pass to keep the play alive. Witkowska with both catch and pass. That was lovely from the number 12. Hanna Malashevska. Here is Struzgauer. Witkowska. Now back to Paszczuk, and she'll shape in and out. And see you later, says Katarzyna Paszczuk. Well, it is the less heralded names in the team that are making a name for themselves in this quarterfinal. Katarzyna Paszczuk.
Yeah, I think it's Malashevska. Just does enough to draw in Lopera. And I put Paszczuk on the outside. Lovely step. Just here she pulls in. We know she's got pace to burn. Again, it's just about Poland being really patient. He talked about Poland developing and being better before what we saw them back in January. And like you said, we're seeing different names stepping up, not relying on the same 7 every time. It's just adding to that depth for Poland.
Maribel Metra claims the kickoff well. That was a nice step from Colombia. Back to Metra. Big, powerful player. She plays second row when it comes to the 15-a-side game. This Colombian team switching between 15s and 7s. Whereas for Poland, it is all about the sevens. There is no national 15-a-side team for the women. The men have recently qualified for the next tier of Rugby Europe. So really exciting times for rugby in Poland.
Initially was so much better there from Colombia. Metra, such a strong of her with the ball in hand.
I'm playing.
Druzgauer. Oh, goodness me. 3 Colombians swallow up the Polish player who was just caught in the headlights. And that's robust defence. Well played, Colombia. Now they're showing what they're about to this Polish team. Good hands, collected Wells. Druzgauer picks up again. Now numbers away to the right. And if they can draw the players in, Druzgauer will lacerate the defence. Had a player outside, it didn't need her.
Yeah, lovely work from the youngster. She's been real bright spark throughout the tournament. Every time she's come onto the pitch has made a big impact. And just leaving the breakdown. Players holding out on the whip. Got attack ready and loaded on both sides of that ruck. So really starts to pull Colombia out of position. And then the ball in 2 hands. And there's nothing there that Alzate can do. One of the hardest positions to try and defend when you've got 2 players, acres of space.
Tap back from Colombia. They've hit 36 points for the 4th time in 4 matches. Never scored less than this in Santiago. Becoming a familiar scoreline. Taking was from Alzate.
In front.
Again, they've booted downfield to relieve the pressure, but only as far as Juliana Schuster, and she has run them in from this distance already this weekend. Not getting that particular skill right, Schuster.
No, vamos a jugar.
Much better on the kick chase.
What would you like?
Applied the pressure there on.
Now Poland pressing up, so Colombia straighten, and nice feet shown by Metra. She's got the dash and the crash, Maribel Metra. And Colombia, towards the end of this match, showing what they can do. Just haven't been able to settle. Alzate now. Sara Flores. Alzate again. Now pressure on here if that's been lined up. Well read. Colombia will play this down to the very end of this match, desperately looking for scores. Metra again. The Poland's will be looking for another lockout. Dropped by Alzate. And that will draw us to a halt. And what another performance of note for Poland. They are through. They're in the semi-finals. They will face China, a team who have been on the World Series before, of course, as a core nation. And another fascinating clash of styles. Poland's beating Colombia 36 points to 0. And they're through to face China. Kenya will